What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. So I did watch Lamont Peterson versus Felix Diaz. I wasn't going to do a post-fight just because I'm headed out to the gym, and I got to get back in time to watch the Triple G versus Lemieux undercards. But fuck it. I owe it to you guys. Let me just briefly talk about, excuse me. Let me just talk about this fight real quick. And it was entertaining. So PBC does it again. I've been watching, I've seen like 5 PBC fights this week. You know what I mean? From Devin Alexander to Aaron Martinez. I watched the Montiel fight with Lee Selby. Andres Fonfara versus Cleverly was a great fight last night. I know I'm missing another one that I watched right before the Devin Alexander fight, the day before. And then I also watched the card today with Pritchard Colon, did a post fight, that and Terrell Williams. And then I watched Lamont Peterson versus Felix Diaz. And it was a good fight. The word that comes to mind when I think of this fight was real scrappy. It was real, that's the best word to describe it. It was real scrappy, kind of fought in the trenches. I think Lamont Peterson did a lot of good body work. I think he banked a lot of the early rounds, and it was competitive throughout. The whole thing was pretty competitive. There were spots where you could tell Felix Diaz wanted to stay undefeated, and he wanted to make a statement, and he was trying. I mean, he was really, both guys were really going at it, and I think Lamont Peterson was probably frustrated at times. You know what I mean? Didn't expect him. You know what I mean? Because if you look at them side by side, Peterson looks a lot bigger than him. So I thought maybe just because the guy was unknown, he might have underestimated him a bit, even though he didn't say he did. Post-fight, he said he knew he was getting into, but it was a good fight. It was scrappy. Diaz was really trying. He's trained by Timothy Bradley's old trainer and Ruslan Provodnikov's current trainer, Joel Diaz, and I think that's a good fit. I really like what I've seen from Felix Diaz. The 12th round was clearly his. I don't know why Lamont Peterson, especially since Barry Hunter, his coach, told him, he said, don't leave this shit up to chance. And I think Peterson could have did more in the 12th round to really put a stamp. Like if you watch the Danny Garcia fight, and that's why boxing, they say styles makes fights. Styles make fights. And it's absolutely true. Danny Garcia is a hell of a fighter, good fighter. He has more power probably than Felix Diaz, but he's slow and he's flat-footed. So you watch the Peterson fight, Peterson like dominated the second half of that fight. But with Felix Diaz, he was short, he was compact. His temperament, rhythm, and like his stance reminded me a lot of Yuri Yorkis Gamboa. I don't know why. Just kind of, he would put his hands low. He had that like kind of machismo, let his hands go. He had some good speed. I hadn't really seen much of Felix Diaz, to be honest. I don't know what fight I've seen. I think I've seen him before, but I didn't know much about him. But he's definitely on the radar now. I think this fight was at a catch weight. He looked good. He looked sharp. Lamont Peterson, I think, probably could have pressed a little bit more. I didn't actually score it, but I probably would have gave it to Lamont Peterson by a round or two. The judges' scorecards were absolute shit. They had it for Peterson. It was a majority decision, but one judge had it for Peterson pretty wide. It wasn't an indication of the fight. The fight was close, like I said, throughout. Felix Diaz definitely captured the 12th round. It looked very good. He didn't lose stock. It's not that type of loss. It's like the Gonzalez versus Jean Pascal loss. Like, Gonzalez doesn't lose any stock even though he has a blemish on his record now. And that just kind of comes with the territory in boxing. Sometimes the bigger star of the two will get the decision. So, I mean, it could have been a draw. I wouldn't have been mad if they scored it for Felix Diaz. I didn't score it, but just from what I've seen based on the early rounds, I would have said probably Lamont Peterson by maybe a round or two, or a draw would be fine. I mean, like I said, I'd have to probably watch it again and score it and actually count punches and stuff to give you guys a better assessment. But it was scrappy. It was a good fight. Felix Diaz, he showed that he can hang with, you know what I mean, the elite level like Lamont Peterson. Peterson, I think, needs to, I don't know. He probably should have made more of a statement, you know what I'm saying? Tightened up and maybe go to the head a little bit more, jabbed a little bit more. The 12th round, like, you're the champion, you're the former champion. I don't know if Peterson still has the belt. I think he does because he was fighting a bunch of catchweights, but I don't know. But either way, you're the bigger star and the more respected. So I think you should own the championship rounds, especially against the shorter, smaller, less experienced guy. So props to Felix Diaz. He did his thing. I'll definitely watch him in the future. Some people are saying it's a robbery. This is the thing with me. I try to be as realistic as possible. A robbery, I don't really like. I think that term gets used too often in boxing. Like, oh, it's a robbery. And they're very close fights that people are saying it. Like when I seen Brandon Rios versus Richard Abril, that was a robbery to me because I don't think the fight was close. You know what I'm saying? Or like when it's definitive rounds where you can clearly tell this person is winning the rounds, then that's a robbery. You know what I'm saying? But fights like this, they're real scrappy and cagey. It's hard to determine. But again, no love lost. I like both fighters. Drop it in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think of PBC and the card that they had today. Make sure you like my video and subscribe. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.